Okay, question 1. What is the metamorphosis of the title? Is the metamorphosis sudden or gradual? I think the metamorphosis is talking about Gregor's transformation into a vermin. What do you think?
I would have to agree with that, considering that it was a sudden transformation, because he just woke up one morning and he was casually a cockroach.
Yeah, so that's what happened. He just, suddenly became a cockroach overnight. Question 2. The last word of the first line is sometimes translated as bug, cockroach, or insect, but Kafka intended it to be vermin. Definition of vermin. Vermin is a term given to animals which are considered by humans to be pests or nuisances, most associated with carrying of disease. Disease-carrying rodents and insects are the usual case, but the term can also apply to larger animals on the basis that they exist out of ecological balance with their environment. Why did Kafka leave the term abstract? What might the bug transformation symbolize? What do you think?
I want to assume that he left the word vermin abstract to be able to compare it to a whole bunch of different pests.
Yeah.
But we assume that it could be a cockroach.
Yeah.
Because of the way they described it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And his transformation could symbolize how he was being treated around his family.
True. Just vermin.
Yeah, because he was the only one carrying the money in the house, the job and everything.
And as soon as he lost that, he just became a pest.
Yeah.
Because they only cared about him for what he provided.
Yeah, he was no good after that.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, number 3. Who is to blame for Gregor's metamorphosis? Why does the metamorphosis take place? I don't think anybody's to blame. It just spontaneously happens. Why does it take place?
It was a sudden and
unexpected.
It was unexpected.
Yeah.
Anomaly.
There's no real reason behind it. Yeah. What things are left unexplained? Why do you think Kafka left them unexplained?
The reason why he turned into a vermin.
Yeah. Why he had the metamorphosis. Why do you think he leaves them unexplained? I think he kind of wants us to think deeper about what if, and maybe even into our own lives, what if we had our own transformation? How would that stuff happen? And so leaving it unexplained leaves that gap for us to imagine. Okay, number 5. Do you have any sympathy for Gregor? Do you have sympathy for his family? Why or why not?
I would say that I may have a bit of sympathy for Gregor, considering that he was a human being.
Yeah.
Then the second he turned into a cockroach, he has got ignored more.
Yeah.
Left aside.
I would say the same. I don't really have too much sympathy for his family because they're just kind of freeloaded off of him. But sympathy for Gregor because he couldn't control it. So that happened. Question number 6. How does the sums of family's life change after Gregor is transformed into an insect? In what ways has it remained the same?
It changed because they had no source of income anymore.
Yeah.
Other than the stats that had hidden.
Definitely.
But they all had to start working. Gregor wasn't holding the family up no more for them.
Yeah. So life became a lot harder because their source of income just got transformed into an insect. In what ways does it remain the same? They kind of still have that
connection.
Yeah, connection. And they seem a little bit not enjoying life very much. Because they were always it described his father in the beginning to be kind of slow, hadn't worked in a while, wasn't really doing anything. So they all kind of have that sort of apathy a little bit for life. Okay, number 7. How did Gregor feel about his job? He hated it, right?
He hated
just did it to get the money for his family.
To pay off their debt that supposedly he thought it was his fault.
Yeah.
To help his parents out.
Yeah, that's all he did. So he didn't like it. Number 8. Consider the reactions to Gregor's transformation. What is unusual about the reaction? What was unsurprising? How would you react? I think
unusual about the reaction would it be towards Gregor, Gregor's reaction or family's reaction?
I think it means the family's reaction to Gregor. I think it was kind of unusual that they just turned on him so quick.
Yeah. It's a human-sized cockroach. So.
True, but it's still a Gregor, so that was unusual. What was unsurprising?
The way he was still being treated.
Yeah, that's true. But it was unsurprising that they were freaked out because human-sized cockroach. How would you react? I think I'd do the same, honestly, because you don't know at that point. We were he's still sentient, but they don't know that. They think it could just be an insect. That can't think.
Insect.
Yeah, so they can't know that.
From the prehistoric times.
Yeah. Okay. Number 9. Consider Gregor's relationships with his family members, do they behave well or badly to the bug in their midst?
In the beginning, I would say that.
As well as you could,
Yeah.
really.
What was it, Greta? Her sister?
Greta, yeah.
Yeah, his
His
sister was
kid.
being good towards him in the
Yeah.
beginning, and near the end, they just tried to get rid of him.
Yeah. And I mean, what else can you do? Like, it's a giant bug. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't really do much, yeah. So, do they behave well or badly? Yeah, in the beginning, Greta treats him well. His parents kind of care.
His mom did, or his dad didn't.
Yeah, his dad didn't. So yeah. Number 10. What is the significance of Gregor's reaction to his sister's violin performance? It shows that he still has that desire to be with his family, even if they don't want him. Kind of. What do you think?
I would say that it inspires him. Well, it doesn't inspire him, but
Mhm.
it makes him feel good that he's helping his sister out for her lessons and
Yeah.
letting her go to a music school.
Yeah. True. So it's like, yeah. Yeah, he still cares. What is number 11? What does Gregor's metamorphosis? How does Gregor's metamorphosis go hand in hand with a description of the world around him as he sees it in his new state? I don't know. That's a deep.
I feel like he didn't really feel
Yeah.
too different. The only
Yeah.
difference was that he felt weird getting adjusted to his new body.
True.
And then he was always aching. He liked new stuff now.
Yeah.
Like rotten food. He didn't like
Oh,
clean
yeah.
food anymore.
Yeah. So kind of just like decay.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Okay, 12. What did Kafka try to express through the metamorphosis of Gregor Samsa? What is the point of the novella, if any? I think he tries to express that like people can change how they treat each other off of circumstances outside of their control. So maybe like losing a job could be
Yeah.
one, or like an accident, like if you get paralyzed or something, people can change how they treat you based off of that. What do you think?
I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
One simple change
Mm-hmm.
could change the perspective on somebody else. Like if you're always on time and then one day you're late,
And it's
like
like,
they're gonna be like, "What happened?"
yeah,
Because
and
they
they can
expect
switch
better.
out.
They expect better from you at that point.
Even if it's outside of your control.
Yeah.
Okay. 13. What parts of the novel did you find funny, if any? How does Kafka share his humor? The only thing I found like super funny was the bread and the milk translation. It was just like horrible. Yeah. That was funny. How does he share his humor? I'm trying to think what would have been intentionally funny in it. Maybe the interaction between him and not the maid, but the one after. I forget what they call her.
The clerk? No, the clerk was pure.
She was like the bigger one, who was like pretty strong, old, in like chapter or part 3. Those interactions were funny. How she like called him like, "Hey, come here." I mean, yeah, relative.
Yeah.
Okay, 14. Kafka said, "Great antipathy to Metamorphosis." Unreadable ending. Imperfect, almost to its very marrow. Quoted in Introduction to Every Man's Edition, page. Okay. What do you think about the ending? What were your reactions to the entire novella? I think. What was your reaction? What did you think about it?
I mean, in the end, he ended up dying.
Yeah.
But I feel like for him, all he wanted was for his family to be happy, although his family didn't feel the same way for him.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't care about him after he turned into a pest. They just used him for his money.
Yeah. So the difference between just only caring about people, even though they provide nothing, to only caring about somebody because they provide something. So what did you think about the ending? It was kind of depressing, but like realistic, I thought. It didn't catch me off guard. What were your reactions to the entire? Is it novella? Novella.
Like, yeah, like a TV show.
Novella. I thought it was very like just like
Shocking.
yeah, shocking and like yeah, unworldly or
By the way
otherworldly.
the way they were treating him.
Yeah, and also like I mean, he turns into a bug, so it's like kind of weird, but like interesting how it relates to life so much and is also so crazy at the same time. Number 15. People changed into animals, or animals turned into people is a common fairy tale theme. What ways is the metamorphosis like fairy tales we know, and in what ways is it different? I think it's different because they're not in like a weird like medieval set.
Yeah.
It's like modern day or 1900s, but
I would say that is different because fairy tales usually end with a happy ending.
true. Yeah.
And this one was just straight up sad.
Dark. Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah. What were your reactions to the entire novella? Yeah, pretty depressing, but gives a good perspective, I guess. Number 15. People changed into animals, or, oh wait,
16.
Oh, 16. Into what genre would you categorize the metamorphosis? Kafkaesque, I guess. But, what would it be? Surreal?
It would
Fiction? Yeah.
It would be realistic fiction in a way.
Yeah, but also not at all. It's good how it does that, because
Yeah.
it melds completely fake, like
Fake
very-
scenarios, but with realistic features into it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Number 17, I think we've all heard the term Kafkaesque. Having read some Kafka, what do you think distinguishes his style from others? I think it's that he blends so well, like the just unnatural, like completely surreal stuff
Yeah.
with real life, and he does it to make it feel very realistic, even though if you told somebody about the story, it sounds completely just wild.
Yeah.
But he does a great job of realistically melding it together. What do you think?
The way he wrote it ends up making the reader actually like get an idea, a visual of like how he was actually being treated.
Yeah.
So, but it could change by person. Like everybody could have their own perspective of how everything went.
Yeah.
So, based off of that, he made it for a way for everyone to have a different perspective over the story.
Yeah.
Which is a unique feature.
That's true. Yeah. Sets it apart, definitely. Number 18. Final question. Biblical approach to the story.
A martyr.
Yeah, a martyr that is example of human suffering, Apple is guilt, etc. Feminist approach to the story, the women take on the main work. Marxist approach, Gregor's work has dehumanized them. Human rights approach, psychological approach, etc. From what perspective do you find yourself approaching the story? I don't see really the biblical approach or the feminist approach.
No, there wasn't
Feminist
really much
approach.
of- because
I see the Marxist approach the most out of all this, or in psychological, I guess, because it shows how like his work kind of makes him just a shell of himself, to the point that becoming a vermin is like
The worst thing that could have possibly happened.
yeah. But also even at the beginning he feels relief, which like if that happened to me that would be like horrible. And for him it actually gave him a little bit of reprieve. What do you think? Which kind of perspective?
The psychological approach would make sense, considering that he lost like all his rights
True.
once he turned to a cockroach.
Definitely.
Like he still
I
wanted to
get
go
that
in.
one.
He still
Yeah.
wanted to go into work. The clerk came in. He was all scared and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
seeing his presence.
Definitely.
And then after that, his family started treating him like garbage.
Yeah.
So he basically lost his human rights in his own home.
Yeah. I actually do think psychological is probably
The most.
what I felt the most too as well, yeah. Because it shows something out of his control affected him so much, and his kind of reaction to that and his family's. So with that, that is the end. And thank you so much for watching. This has been Metamorphosis Socratic Seminar. We'll see you in the next one.